Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale. And I am your host, Larry Cox. And it is great to have each and every one of you on the show this evening. Now, we're not going to have a long show tonight, but we're going to have an interesting show. We're going to talk about taxes. So I've had a lot of people reach out to me uh, um, this week, and they've not been very happy about the tax bills. They've been very upset about them, and people are just not pleased with what's going on with all that. So, guys, I mean, it's just horrible out there. What's going on with that? Let me go ahead and just say hi to a few folks first before we get started. Charlotte Geller, welcome to the show. Mary Boysworth, Dan Burks, Miss Ruco, welcome to the show. Uh, Chatting it up with CJ Lester, William Campbell, Marie Withers, Cheryl Moulton, George Kelichek, the taxpayer. Jill Oden, how you doing there? And Corliss Turner. Uh, Guys, I mean, I've had a lot of people reach out to me this week, and they're very concerned with what's going on with the taxes. And everybody that I've talked to, they got anywhere from 1,200 to 2,000 bucks, and we got to take into account the $500 credit we all got last year. So if you had like a $1,200, that's actually a $700 increase because you would have had the 500 last year. It just was offset by the governor's credit. Now, if you had a 12, like a 2,000, that would have been $1,500 increase for you. But people have had a lot. These taxes have gone up with the courthouse project ramping up. Well, not even really a courthouse project. Let's just be real about it. With the administrative project, and they had already, that's just ridiculous, right? Because we need to, we just need to, get everything, you know, everything just needs to be, it needs to be transparent. And right now, we do not have transparency, unfortunately, in what's going on. We just don't. We do not have transparency, and guys, and it's just awful that we don't have transparency. No, nobody wants to be real with us. They don't want to be, uh, factual with us. They just don't. And that's just crazy, right? That they don't want to. And we expect more. We expect more from our people, and all that. So that's just reality, right? So we just need that to be real. And it's just crazy with what's going on out here now, right? With the way the economy is, the way the housing market is. And it's just like nobody paid attention to us the last few years. We were talking about these things going to happen. We were talking about the warning signs. We were talking about, this is what's going on. And that's just the reality of what we have going on today, right? Uh, uh, that's just crazy, guys. We need transparency is what we need from government. We need transparency. They need to let us know what's going on, why it's going on, and how it's going on. And that's just not what we're getting. We're not getting transparency from these elected officials. And you spoke loudly in this past election that you wanted transparency. Uh, so we've got to we've just got to really uh, to make sure we know what we're doing, uh, and, uh, and that's just what I believe, right? We need to know what everyone is thinking, and there's got to be transparency so that we all know what and how government officials are doing. Guys, I ran on a platform of transparency, that sharing with you everything that I could. Uh, this is just ridiculous. We have got to expect better from our elected officials. Now, guys, I was talking to some citizens today, and they point blank are concerned. They know with the debt that has been just piled up by these government entities, they don't really know how the taxes are going to be lowered, or how we can expect lower taxes because of the debt and the need for capital to actually pay for that debt. So, guys, we are in a real situation here in Rockdale County. I'm going to actually encourage you guys to do something too. I encourage you to start going to the Board of Education meetings, because you need to start going to those Board of Education meetings and pay attention to what's going on. These guys had an hour and a half executive board meeting the other day behind closed doors. What were they talking about for an hour and a half? I want to know, because it concerns me when we have any of these boards go into executive session, and especially when they go meet for an hour and a half. I will guarantee you, whatever it was not anything good up to you and I. It was not good when it concerned you and I. I mean, and that's just, the reality. That yeah, that's just fact. It is fact. Excuse me. I am responding to someone right now. People are, reaching out while we're doing the show because they're concerned, and I get it, right? But guys, we've got to start paying attention to these meetings, especially when they go in executive session. When they go in executive session and they start talking behind closed doors, there's things going on, and it's not good. It's not good. Not good at all for you and I, because it means it's going to cost you and I money. It's going to end up costing us money. It's going to end up costing us money all day long. And that's what we've got to realize. Guys, I am just, I'm concerned about our seniors. I've had many seniors reach out to me this week. They are concerned about being able to maintain home ownership. And I get it. Don't you get it? They are concerned about whether they're going to be able to stay in their homes. And I'm concerned about that. And that's just, I don't want our seniors, to lose their homes. I don't want them to be homeless. I want them to be able to maintain home ownership. But the way we're going with these taxes, I've had many seniors reach out to me, and right now they're a month and a half, 2 months of their fixed income going to pay property taxes, because a lot of them own their properties outright, so they don't have escrows. So they're looking at having to save the money each time to be able to pay that, right? So, it's just ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. So what do, right? What do we do? It's just crazy. So, guys, I just want each one of you to know, we've got to just know that, we've got to start doing the right thing for each other. We've got to be transparent. We've got to let each other know that, that we have to do the right things for each other. That we need to stand by each other. We need to let each other know, guys, it just has to be done. Enough is enough. You deserve transparency and you deserve the truth. And a lot of people, even though we knew these taxes were coming, they were still taken aback when the bill actually came through, right? When the bill came through, they were taken aback. Guys, it's time that we elected people for change. It's time they stand up for you and stand up for change. It's time that they're transparent with you. They let you know the truth, and that they tell you really what's going on, right? All this stuff that goes on behind closed doors, it's just got to stop. And Cheryl says she had a few customers in the city, and they're just stopped. They're just shocked by what's going on with their taxes, and I am too. I'm also shocked, right? And guys, this didn't sneak up on us. This is something that's just been it's been happening year after year after year. It's been catapulted on it. Mary Boysworth, she's retiring next month, and she's having to pay a huge chunk of her money all at once, and it hurts. And that's what it does. It hurts senior citizens on fixed incomes when they have to do this. Guys, we've got to be transparent. We've got to let these seniors know what they expect and how to expect it so they can plan for it. And we've got to start giving seniors exemptions. And I understand, we with the size of the community, with the way our tax structure is set up, it's going to probably end up being income based initially till we can build this business tax base up. But we've got to start somewhere, and we've got to start with our most vulnerable, and we have to start with our poorest seniors. Guys, I'm just asking each and every one of you, show up to these meetings, especially this Board of Education, because the Board of Education goes, I'm getting ready to go on this board, guys. I want you to come to those meetings and keep me in check. I'm going to have town halls, but and I'm going to meet with you. I'm going to take your phone calls. But you know what? Unless you put pressure on those board members, then nothing is ever going to happen. Unless you're there in person and you put pressure on those board members, they know you're listening, they know you're paying attention. That's when their vote starts mirroring what this community believes, is when they know they're being watched. But when they know nobody's watching, nobody's paying attention, they don't vote the right way. They vote to represent themselves or the superintendent or this entity or that entity, but not the stakeholders and taxpayers of Rockdale. Then they'll give you the excuse, well, we're doing it for the children. Guys, the children, when you represent the parents, when you represent the guardians, the stakeholders, you are representing the children. None of these children finance their own housing. They don't finance they don't buy their own clothes. They don't feed themselves. There is an adult behind each child doing that. There is a taxpayer behind each child financing that child's well-being. So if you're going to do right by the child, you have to do right by that taxpayer that's footing the bill. It's time to stop hearing that nonsense. Well, it may hurt those adults, but we're doing what's best for the kids. No, at the end of the day, you are hurting children when you are punishing their guardians. You heard it here and you heard me say it. And I will say these type things when I'm sitting on that board. I ran to represent you as a whole. I will represent the children of Rockdale County by representing you. People elect Kelly Farr. People elect candidates to represent them. I get what you're saying, but my 84-year-old mom is not going to those meetings. Right, your mom's not going to those meetings, Kelly, and I understand that. But we have still plenty of people who could go and be surrogates for your mother. We still have people whose kids are in school, who are young enough and mobile enough to go out to those meetings. I mean, we've got people going to planning and zoning meetings and they stay till midnight and it's overflow. We've got people going to BOC meetings. Let's start showing that same vigor for the Board of Education. Trust me, if you don't start showing that same vigor for the Board of Education, bad things are going to happen to you, the citizens. I'm forewarning you right now. You've got to keep every elected official in this county in check. They need to know that you're watching, paying attention, and listening to everything that they're doing. It's that important. It is that important that we do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be your voice. I will be a voice of reason. I'll be an elected official that's not like most elected officials. But I can't do it alone. Just like I couldn't get elected with my own vote, it took thousands of you to vote for me, Janice, and Tawanya to bring about change. And it's still going to need your voices to continue to advocate for change. I'm not going to stay on here much longer, guys. I just wanted to come on here and vent a little bit, tell you go to these meetings, reach out to everybody, tell them to go to these meetings, especially the Board of Education. We need to really pay attention to this board because they've got to run free, no checks and balances. It's up to you, the citizens of Rockdale County, to keep them in check and to let them know there is a consequence to their actions. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Join me next week on This Week from Rockdale at 8 p.m., and we will talk about more things that are affecting you, the citizens, the taxpayers, the stakeholders of Rockdale County.